Sponsored by the McCaffrey Health Center. Today we're learning about one of the most common forms of liver disease in the U.S. In fact, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is on the rise globally. Here now to talk about it is Dr. Sean McCaffrey with the McCaffrey Health Center. Doc, welcome back.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so what exactly is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and also how is it diagnosed?
You know, the big fatty liver in general is the liver starts to acquire fat pockets basically, and the whole liver starts to inflame a little bit. Non-alcoholic fatty liver is where the liver starts to inflame, but alcohol is not the primary cause. You know, we talk about cirrhosis of the liver and things like that. You hear about that from drinking. Now we're seeing it more with dietary influence, environmental influences that are affecting it. And the one thing we know that we've seen so far is that high fructose corn syrup appears to be the driving factor behind it. It's taken over our food chain in the last 30, 40 years, so it doesn't surprise us that we're seeing a rise in this condition overall.
Okay, so it sounds like what we're putting in our bodies kind of correlates to this.
Yeah.
You know, so what are some other health concerns related to this? Does this kind of go hand in hand with some other illnesses?
It does, and what happens is when you get the liver in trouble, because it's a big filter, right? It's a pump for you and it's a filter for the body. So if you get him all gummed up and in trouble, then everything else starts to suffer. You see diabetes increase with this. You'll see heart disease increase with this. There can be cancer of the liver if this is allowed to go for a long period of time and you don't control the inflammation that's behind it. So it can lead to a whole host of other things and eventually liver failure.
Oh wow, that's very unfortunate, very serious there. How does having a higher BMI as a teen relate to developing this disease later on in life?
Yeah, because weight plays a major role in this, right? Because when you look at weight issues, you very seldom have people put on lots of weight eating healthy. Right, it's the wrong foods that we eat. So again, it goes back to that concept of the high fructose corn syrups, the fake sweeteners, all these things tend to affect that liver, and those are the real high calorie foods. So people are eating lots and lots and lots of junk food, for lack of better words, and the more we eat of it, the bigger we get. And so our body mass index increases as we get larger, and that's indirectly and kind of semi-directly linked to this. It's really the diet that plays the role to it, and that's what's affecting this liver. However, as you get bigger, your BMI goes up automatically, so there's a relationship.
Okay, so is this primarily a disease that affects overweight adolescents and adults? Are we going to see a skinny person with something like this?
You know, you could if someone has a diet that's really high in bad food, basically. If it's really high in poor food choices, yet they're very active. You know, they can be running around active, they control their weight, but all they eat are cupcakes and ho-hos, right? Those kind of things. That can get you.
About me,
that, you can see it in that group. You are seeing it more and more in our younger population now, because this is what their entire diet is. You know, they're growing up on this. You know, if you look back at our parents, you know, grew up on a local supermarket on the corner somewhere, a lot of fresh, natural food. But then as things kind of went on and we processed things, that changed. Well, children today, they don't have that anymore. Now it's all processed. It's all quick fix. They want shelf life. And the problem with this is that it's catastrophic to our environment inside, and it beats that liver up, and then you end up getting a liver disease that you can't get rid of.
So what you're saying is that we really didn't see something like this 50 years ago.
Not as much, correct. It was few and far between. You know, the Center for Disease Control came out and noted that they expect this condition to increase about 200% in the next 12 years.
And that's as the obesity epidemic continues to grow as well. I'm actually surprised to see that this is, you know, on the rise, not just in the U.S. but globally, because I know we eat a lot of, you know, processed, you know, saturated fat foods here, but I'm surprised to see it in other countries because certain other countries are known for healthier eating.
Well, you know, what you're seeing, I think, globally, though, is that our markets now are they're all married. They're tied together. You don't really have, even, you know, in places remote like Africa and things like this, you don't have that separation we once did. We're sending food there. What food do we send? We're not sending them fresh fruits and vegetables, right? We're sending them things that last, things that hold longer, things that can stay and handle heat and all that stuff. Well, that processing of food is what gets you in trouble. And the idea that fat causes a fatty liver is a misnomer. It doesn't really do that. It's the sugars that don't get digested properly, don't get cleaned out of the diet. That's what causes it. And that's when I've seen this in practice. That's how you get rid of it. You clean that up, you digest their food, and all of a sudden you can watch their numbers change and go away.
Okay, that was my next question. So this could be reversible.
Well, in the medical world, no.
Okay.
They don't have a cure for it at
Okay.
all. And they'll tell you that we have nothing for this other than doing some lifestyle changes. But the reality of it is the liver turns itself over very frequently. It's one of the few organs that tries to reproduce itself all the time because it's always being harassed and damaged.
Sure.
So it has the ability to turn over. You just have to get rid of the cause. And that's really what it comes down to. You know, we always say stress is the cause of all disease. In this case, your diet is the stress. If you can remove the stress, digest the food for someone and help them get rid of their waste, things can turn around. It's really fascinating when it does.
Okay, so long term, if left unchecked, will someone eventually need a transplant?
Yeah, it could be, and they're expecting this. That's what they're seeing. They think that right now this is the #1 cause of liver disease in the country, #1, okay. And they're expecting it to go up almost 200 more %. So it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be catastrophic. You're not going to have enough livers to transplant for people. Right. So you're going to look at life expectancy, then it's going to drop because it's affecting younger and younger people. You know, you're looking in your adolescents, your young teens, your 20s and your 30s. They're not going to have 70 years and then a liver transplant. They're going to get it early, but there won't be enough for them. So there can be a real issue here on the future, on the horizon. So we've got to try and do something now.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to learn more about the many services they offer, you can visit their website, McCaffreyHealth.com. New patients can take advantage of their $99 special now through the end of the month. Dr. McCaffrey, thanks for being here.
Great, thank you.